Listen up, everybody. This is YourBroZo here, and we are here with ABDUCTION9 Productions. Some of the key figures, you know what I'm saying, of the ABDUCTION9 Productions. And first off, what we do at ABDUCTION9 Productions is that we take artists, we hand them to Jordan, he writes music, helps you write music that you like. He does it with all our instruments, and eventually we put the music with our band, live, and we put you on stage, and if you need be, we do music videos and stuff like that. We help you through the whole process, okay? So that's what we do at ABDUCTION9 Productions. We have the Neutrinos as an act, and also Celeste Divine as one as well, but I guess we should all introduce each other. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Ladies first.
I'm Celeste Divine. I'm a singer, songwriter, and a mom.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm Jordan Cameron. I play guitar, I produce, and set up gear. I basically do whatever's needed in the group. So we'll test to that.
So let's talk about, I want to talk about like how you get to where you are today. How y'all got to how you are today. Like, you know, musically, you know, I guess I'll kind of talk about myself first. I started playing rock music when I was since I've been 19 years old, and I, you know, throughout the years I've just been forming other different bands. Once I moved from Atlanta, I started in Richmond, Virginia, and I started, you know, just playing with black rock bands, and, you know, played with bands like Bad Brains, Fishbone, Tribal Seeds, bunch of different bands, you know, and you traveled, toured, you know, all that good stuff, and took a little hiatus, you know, life hit. So, you know, once we came back, I linked back up with Jordan, and that's pretty much my story.
Absolutely.
I'll let you go.
Oh, let me go? Oh gosh. It's where to begin. It's the hard part for me. I don't know. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa, and there I guess in the beginning of high school, I met all the goth kids, you know, because Iowa, there aren't many black people there. So, you know, and I'm just like, who are the most, like, don't give a crap about trends or anything like that, just do whatever it is they want to do. Well, obviously that's the goth kids. There's a guy that wore a shirt made out of duct tape, 3 days a week, you know what I mean? So these guys do whatever they want. I'm just like, okay, well, I kind of slide in. I was like, I heard this guy looking to start a band, giant Liberty spikes and everything. I'm like, hell, heck yeah, let's see what we can do. I kind of slide in, like, hey man, at that time I kind of dabbled with the guitar. My dad bought me a guitar when I was 11, and I started with that. And so I could play guitar a little bit, man. I was like, maybe we could, jam sometime or whatever, you know. So it's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, man. But you'd probably bet better at the drums, wouldn't you? Like, you need that rhythm. So I got thrown on the drums for that first little band. It was terrible. It was bad. So I don't mean to go back so far, but it keeps going though. No, from there, we form a little band, and that ends. Form another band when high school first started. With the guy with the long blonde hair who had drumsticks in his pocket. That's what it was like you're in from the 80s. Long. I was like, no, this freaking Norwegian German dude, really big guy. He just thunderous on drums. I was like, no. We go over to his house, and you ever seen that 70s show?
Yes.
It's exactly like that.
Oh, wow.
We go to the basement every day after school and just start thrashing out this punk music, metal music, people come in and out, all the friends go there, hang out, we put on our own shows, we do this and that. We join the underground punk scene there after so many years of practicing. And eventually we kind of decided that we're a grindcore band.
Yeah, right.
You probably know what that is.
Yeah.
Really grimy punk stuff, And it was great. I did that all through high school, man. So that was my first place of being right there, And that 20 is in it. They kept going for years after I moved here, after we all turned 20, and they just kept going and put out a few albums. They're great. And but I moved here, and I'm just like, well, I'd rather play music that everybody likes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, and my parents are always just like, man, you're actually a good guitar player, but why don't you play stuff that, you know, that people can listen to? You know, I was like, well, yeah, I know, I don't even know where to begin, you know? The thing about Atlanta is you kind of have to do everything yourself, or just like at least have that mentality. People and opportunities come as they do. So, well, and I'm just like, well, there's a lot more opportunities here. I went to music school after so many years after I got here and working and things like that. Went to music school, got a certificate in performance. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother experience. But I got that. Met you decently early on, and after I met you and did your first gig, it was the first Juneteenth we did together. I started to do hired gun work just as a guitar player for a bunch of different bands, like reggae bands, R&B bands, a lot of the guys that you know actually, and to this day it's been that. And after that I slowly got into recording. You know, start out with your little interface and a few pieces of gear in the garage and just record whatever, and I just built that up to what is now a decent studio.
Yeah,
I'm still growing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Studio sounds good.
I'm still growing as a producer. I don't work as quickly as I'd like to. Is that right, Celeste? But I'm really trying to get things going, handling life and recording and playing. So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah, I did the same, the hardcore scene, the punk scene. That was my thing. But at an early age, I got really introduced to reggae. You know what I'm saying? Like big time. So that was a big influence. And I guess the last one we did, the Sun Cycle, that was the first time I actually did something that wasn't hardcore. So, but I got a question for you. Ooh, I got something for you.
I might have an answer.
Yeah. So obviously you've been introduced to rock because of that time that we we found out that you had a rock thing going on.
You knew what was up.
Yeah, you knew the lyrics and everything, you knew the songs. It was just like, yo. But how did you get influenced to that? Was it just
oh my gosh.
or introduced, I should say, or influenced, either one, both?
I would have to say my parents. My parents have always been very musically sound. My mom, I remember she was listening to like Alanis Morissette and Fiona Apple, and my dad was like heavy into like Parliament and Funkadelic, and so it just naturally opened me up to want to explore music. I remember I had to be maybe like 5 when I got my first radio, and that allowed me to just explore different stations.
Absolutely.
So that's what I did. I explored jazz, I explored rock, anything that sounded good to my ears. So I dove into that. When I was 14, I got my first guitar because I was like, you know what, I'm going to be in a rock band. And I'm going to learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
And so I got a Fender for Christmas and an amp and a mic. And I was just in my room trying to learn. I think I learned like 3 chords.
Yeah. You just got to learn the rest. That's all good.
I cannot play guitar today, but it did help me write music. So I wrote my first song. It's a silly song. It was called Schoolboy Crush. And I still remember it to this day.
Absolutely.
And so once I put the guitar down and realized I prefer the mic, and I had this amp that was loud as all get out. You could hear it down the street. And I would just be in there singing. And I've always liked the sound. It's more so about the sound and less about whatever genre it is, because the sound produces an emotion, and it kind of correlates to how I was feeling. And I was kind of like you in a lot where I was heavy into like gothic and punk rock kids when I was in middle school and high school, but I never quite fit in. I didn't fit in with the black people.
It wasn't, you know.
Yeah, so it was like I was too black for the white people. I was too white for the black people. So I was just like, I by myself.
This feels like one of the sessions, like
exactly.
Like the group sessions.
Yes.
So tell me how you feel about being ostracized.
Oh God. But
I love it.
Yes.
but that's what I love about Atlanta, especially when you get out, because you know how in school there's the cliques, there's skaters, punks, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing at Atlanta, but everyone's black.
Yeah, I know that. I think people outside of Atlanta, they don't understand that. It's very hard to comprehend, because I had a white friend of mine, my drummer, my first band, and we were talking about, he was talking about, he was like, man, why do I always see on Instagram all these crazy, people acting like, he was just saying that people acting ghetto and all this kind of crazy stuff. And I was like, first off, that's social media, so they go, But I was like, I told him, I said, yo, where I'm from in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? I hardly see white people, like literally. I might see them, but I hardly interact with them like that.
Yeah.
But not saying I have anything against that.
Of course.
It's just that, like in my neighborhood in Decatur, it's kind of like you saw a white person, back 5-10 years ago, they're trying to get drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like what you know what I'm saying? So that's what you think.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand how truly black and just the culture of strength that Atlanta is. It's like,
But at the same time, there's so many different interests, and even interests that you would say I'd be more of a white person.
Yeah.
There is a group of black people who do that.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And which is cool, because where I'm from in Des Moines, there were black people there, but it was like, oh no, you have to act this way.
Yes.
You have to think this thing. You have to like this thing. I'm like, and then you get here, I'm like, you guys don't even have a clue. You met some really real people here.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to leave. That's why I don't want to go back to Iowa.
Yeah.
I love my friends out in Iowa, but man,
at an early age, I moved to London, like in my early 20s, and that blew my mind, coming from Richmond, Virginia, London.
Yeah.
But see, it equally blew my mind just as much coming to Atlanta and London. Like London was amazing because you met people all over the world, all this kind of stuff. But coming to Atlanta, I'm gonna tell you something. I had to drop off. My friend left something at their job. He asked me to drop it off to his house in Mapleton, right? I went to Mapleton, right? I go to Mapleton and I see these big, gigantic houses, right? What do you say? I would say they're at least $500,000 and up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole neighborhood was black. I saw everybody walking their dogs. I was just like, what? We're not used to see that in Richmond, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And but like you were saying, like prime example, you go to Comic-Con, you know what I'm saying, and it's packed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't expect, you know what I'm saying? But that's, like you said, anything interests, in Atlanta, it's, anything.
There's
We're there.
a group. Yeah. We're there. Exactly. You said it, man.
Yeah.
I guess. Just make sure.
And
welcome back to the conversation.
Yeah, it's all edited. We can all edit it, so it's still recording?
That's what I'm trying to see. What? It didn't.
Stop.
Oh, man. I don't know why I would do that.
You saw it when it stopped?
What's that?
Did you see it when it stopped?
Yeah, I didn't know if it. That's the thing. I didn't know if it stopped or it was still recording while it. I don't know why I would do that. Jeez. All right. Go back to it. So yeah.
Okay. But so that's odd. See, I never knew that. I never knew that you. Honestly, it's odd, but like we all pretty much came right through. So here's the thing though, because I guess it's some of the story. Like you come from the punk scene and all that stuff, but then you get bathed in the Afrocentric spiritual thing. How was that transition for you?
I can't really call it a transition. It kind of just, I'm water, so everything is kind of a mesh. And it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's hard to explain how I went, because again, I was listening to everything.
Yeah.
So 1 minute I am listening to Erykah Badu, and the next minute I'm blasting Slipknot, and that's all in the same day.
Yeah.
So.
That's definitely a great thing, because I also am very influenced by a bunch of different things.
Yes.
I just try to kind of piece together everything, and know?
Yes.
I got really, when I first, about 10 years ago, I got really into jazz. I wanted to learn jazz. I wanted to listen to it. I wanted to, you know, I got into it about Kind of Blue. You know, Miles there. You know, that's the gateway drug.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
So I got that. I'm just like, oh my god. And you know, then learned impressions on the guitar, and so it just kept going. And then, okay, well, I want to learn a lot more about reggae. I mean, that's, you know, playing on the rhythm. I want to get better at that. Start listening to more of that, and then world music, and then fusion, and then just trying to get more, just trying to absorb everything. It is a good word. Yeah, man. But then, I mean, I guess I don't listen too much anymore. But then, but when you start out with something completely different, you know, death metal, symphonic death metal, just, you know, all that stuff, you know, it's just like, it's all there, you know, and it all comes out in a certain way while you work with all these different artists. And it's allowed me to work with a bunch of different artists as well.
Yes. You know, it's, for me, it was kind of like the aggression of being young.
Yeah.
And being everything with this for young, black, you know, all that stuff. That's why I love rock's music so much. That's why I was like letting it all out. You know what I'm saying? But then it came to a point in which I was just like, you know, I'm not angry anymore.
Right.
You know, like literally. And so it's like, even with my lyrics now, you don't hear me screaming like that. I'm just like, yo, talking like, you know.
Spoken word.
I'm not angry anymore. Now, I mean, of course I'm angry, but it's not that type of, it's more, the anger isn't, I can't really say I'm angry, because it is what it is about life and just in general. You know what I mean? So I can't say I'm not angry anymore. I'm more so sharing a story, or sharing my voice and my, you know, my ideas and people. You know, that's why.
You're passionate.
Yeah, exactly. See, but see, the thing is this though. I know that there's a Jordan out there, 16, 15 years old, that's looking for that type of voice with the type of music to go along with it.
Sure.
I know this is Celeste, young Celeste, you know what I'm saying? And young, you know, Joseph Zoe, you know what I'm saying? That's in there. So that's why I'll always have to continue to do rock music, but will it be like my mainstay? I have to say, I doubt so, because of what you said earlier about you got to play music that people like, and the energy, the frequency. You got to get on the frequency to meet the people. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm kind of at. You know what I'm saying? I'll still do rock stuff, but for it to be like the number one, you know, I've evolved.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How do you feel about the way music is now? And I mean, the fact that no record company is looking for music specifically the way we play it. How do you feel about you know, really having to kind of put your best foot forward and just kind of take care of everything yourself? Is that something you'd be more excited about? Or?
I'm going to tell a quick story. Like, when we opened for Fishbone at the Masquerade, Tim Sweet, he's the one that was shaking me. He called me up, or he hit me up or whatever. He's like, we want you to open for this band, Travel Seeds, right? And we opened for them, and at that time they were small, right? They just wanted a little tour bus. They were just touring it, playing their little reggae. The Mexican dudes that play reggae, they're dope, really good.
Yeah.
But they were doing everything themselves. Management, they had their own management. They were pressing their own stuff, merch, everything they're doing themselves, right? You know, and just to fast forward now, you know, they're really big, but they're still doing it themselves. At that time, 311, you know, 311, one of the biggest rock bands on the planet, they were looking for a label, I think it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody that came to them asked them, 311, to sign a 360 deal. They're making $1 million a piece each. I read this in America. They're making $1 million a piece every year, individually, you know, off it. And a record label going to ask them for a 360 deal. You know what I'm saying? They ended up like signing, I think, with Dave Matthews Band. They're like, you know, what hit Dave Matthews' label. But you know, it gives more people. You can do your own thing now. You got to find your niche. And now, instead of paying all these $1 million videos and stuff, that was that one dude. What was that one country dude in Virginia?
I know who you're talking
red
about.
Beard.
I
can't remember his name now. He had that Southway, was it Northmen up in Richmond, something like that? He had that song. He took his phone in the backyard. It is a dope song too. That don't, you know, he sung his song, And now he's on the Joe Rogan show. He just blew up.
Oh, wow.
So things have changed.
No, I mean,
That's the whole point.
that is the
For the better.
Yeah, that is the good thing about now is you can really, you have if you know you have a good song, you know you have something, you can do what you need to do to put it out and find your find your audience. You know, if you're diligent about it. Absolutely, that is the good thing. But man, if you're not motivated, it's really hard to get out there. Man, well, you know, I don't want to say motivated. I want to say diligent,
focused, diligent.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah.
You know, but it's just interesting. I never until you told me. That, you know, I wouldn't have known. But that makes it better even for like when we work with the neutrinos, because now it could be more of your influence of singing with the music, which I'm fine with. You know, I always, Jordan say, I always love having females in the band just because of the energy and the energy. And like, as you notice, when we ever do stuff, I come to you first and say, Celeste, what do you think we should do? I come here because, you know, if you're married or you have a relationship and you've been with somebody, you understand that women, you understand how nature is. Women know. You know, and especially a good woman. You can't go wrong with a good woman in your corner. So let's tell you, I'd be like, every time we go, I say, what do you think we should do? She'd be like, do this, okay, well, I'll do it. She hadn't failed me, so I'll stick with it.
You know, that's the way it goes, man. Gives the audience something to look at too. I feel like an audience is way more relaxed with a woman singing.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, I just remember like when Erykah Badu came out, and I just remember seeing that sister, that energy, that voice, the message, and I was just like, damn, that's a total package. Like, you know, and I'm still like that neo soul, that type of beautiful music with the beautiful lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my shit. I can listen to that, like, you know, that's like my thing now. You know what I mean?
I gotta study up, man. I gotta get more on, because I listen to a lot of music, but I listen to a lot of instrumental music. I need to listen to more music with vocals, and it would help. For one, it would help record better, and it would help give me more ideas to, you know, to get to singers.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I still gotta, I mean, I've been playing for 23 years, but I still got a lot of homework to do.
Of course, man. Never stop. One thing I have to say, you asked me a question earlier about the music today. Like, when I drive around, I listen to Sirius XM, right? I have 2 stations that are my go-to stations. You know, I have the Groove, and I have Soul Town. You know, and I was telling my kids one time, I was trying to explain to them. I told them when I was listening, they're like, Dad, why you listen to this music? I said, because this is real music. That's what I told them. And I explained to them, like, you know, I call it crazy music, their music. He's like, you know, Lil Leroy and, you know, Murder X and all the time. So I was like, no, I was like, I was like, yo, that's not real music. I was like, you know, see, if you listen to this music, these people, and I explained to them, I said, they're playing instruments. All the music that you hear, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. And see, now, when we're riding down the road, something come up and be like, who's that playing? He's like, Stevie Wonder. You know, so they start, and I hear them singing the songs as opposed to this crazy music that's out today. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, and you can every time you kind of feel like instrumental music, you know, is going away. It comes back in a different way, and it's still it's starting to grab the young folks, especially if we have more people like you who actually expose them to it, you know, and that's another thing we got to start doing, is exposing them, not to just this. I mean, I have nothing against hip hop or anything like that, nothing at all, because in its way, and it's very, it's great too. I mean, I couldn't do that sample stuff.
It's all art. It's all art.
It really is. But at the end of the day, teaching a kid to play that's another thing I do on the side. Teaching kids to play the guitar, the bass, or the piano, things like that, and they, you know, they get better at it. It just, it just opens up their life in a different way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It might be the beginning of the rest of life. It might be a beginning of a really great chapter.
Exactly, exactly. That's true.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about was you mentioned the technology is, it will keep evolving. Of course, it will make things easier, man. But now we've got the whole AI editing thing. We've got the whole this, the whole that. It's kind of scary. The big part of my job in the group might be out the window because it'd be much easier just to have AI editor. But at the same time, there are people who want their own little touches on the music and things like that, and we'll do that. But can you see that being a part of what you do in the future? Or?
I mean, I would say yes, but but you said it, I couldn't imagine, like ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. I use it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Help me write help me edit my books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, before I send it to people, but ChatGPT is editing, so that's a job right there. That's a good example. But there's ChatGPT can't tell you the feel from a human when it comes to that. Same thing with music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I like you ain't gonna ain't no way in hell I won't be able to take a finished product and tell AI to master it, as opposed on top of coming to Chris Griffin and you tell him what you want, how you want it, whatever. Ain't no way in hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and if it does, it might not be to the point you really want it to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll probably be a little while. I'm definitely not saying that, but man, it's gonna be such a different world in 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I can't imagine for everything.
Yeah.
For music.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned that the Juneteenth show, which is a show we play, we try to play every year, but it was very. It wasn't dead, but it was it wasn't. It just wasn't what it was before. Of course, COVID happened. What do you feel as far as live shows? I mean, then to now, you think they'll really come back?
Well, I don't. I think we just had a crazy little time slot, to be honest, because later on I saw footage and stuff. That place was jumping, man. You know what I'm saying?
After the World Cup.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, Juneteenth. So a lot of music ain't going nowhere. That's what I'm saying. People still selling out shows, and you know what I'm saying. People, it's not going nowhere because it's a part of culture. You know what I'm saying? And even I remember when COVID hit, when things started. That's when we were over Sadiq's. We were playing. People were coming to our shows. They were coming to the open mics. It was booming, and COVID hit. Things slowed down, but eventually, people just people ain't trying to stay in the house like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No, they trying to get out. They trying to and we in Atlanta too.
Yeah.
So my music ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What, another question? We got a lot of footage.
I know. We got to match the audio up with the footage.
Yeah, I got a few different tracks. I'll send you one at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, how has music changed you as a person?
Me, I kind of already talked about that already. Music is my soundtrack of me being a non-conformist and a philosopher. You know what I mean? Music was definitely F the system, and this is why I'm saying F the system. You know what I'm saying? Or even on a spiritual tip, or not even F the system, but other one having bliss and connecting with the part of the metaphysical aspect or the spiritual aspect. It's a soundtrack for everything. Good, bad, ugly. It's always been there.
I don't know how to explain it without sounding cliche, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If the universe was an orchestra, I wish I was the conductor. If I could go like that and hear music, I would do it every single second of the day. When I die, I want to become music. How do I explain it? No, I mean,
That's definitely like cliche. I've never heard that before.
well, I mean, or cheesy, I should say, you know. But it's just, I'm here. The cliche part is just a part of who I am. When I, started getting into music, I felt like, it's just that aha moment. And I've never really lost that,
Mm-hmm.
And my problem is I can't. Everybody asks me, "Oh, what genre are you?" That's not the right question. It's just music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And whatever it is, it happens to be at that moment. Even if it is, I don't care if it's country at that moment. I don't care if it's hip hop. I don't care if it's R&B at that moment. It's just music.
It's music. It's the frequency. Sun Ra. There was a. I think I sampled. Well, I didn't sample it. I listened to something that he said from Spaces to Place, and I kind of tweaked it for my first as an intro when he's just talking about it's the frequency and it's the sound, And that Sun Ra he did a very good job, I think, and especially because of the jazz he was playing, to show how do you say it? Like incorporate pretty much like everything we're talking about now and saying it verbally, musically, and he's my spokesperson. If somebody asks me like how I think about things are Sun Ra, honestly, from as deep as the metaphysicals that's down to the music. Because I'm gonna tell you, truth be told, is I didn't really start listening to jazz till some years ago, and then because I didn't understand it, but see, I started listening to it. I mean, and being a musician, and I was like, oh, I see.
Yes.
Because you're so used to structure in songs, but jazz ain't like that. So I had to throw that out the window and just listen.
You hit it nail on the head. That's the thing I love about jazz. I mean, no, there is a structure there, but it's so. But it's all up to you. It's all about your own improv. It's all about thinking and playing while you're not thinking, but just improvising. And improvising is the thing that we'll do. That's why I love jazz so much. Yeah. How do you feel right now? It's and another thing. I mean, a blues musician will tell you, a jazz musician will tell you, the same song is not going to sound the same every night.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of music I love. Because you're really able to pour your emotion into every single performance. You know what I'm saying? Getting the right performance on camera. That's a whole nother story, man.
Jazz, I think about jazz regular, let's just say a regular rock song with a structure. That's like a WWE wrestling match scripted. You know what I'm saying? But jazz is like a boxing match. You know what I'm saying? That you don't know who's gonna win, and there's no rules, and whatever happens. You know what I mean? That's the way I like an analogy.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, it's all about it's all about what happened. It's all about the moment when it comes to jazz music.
Yeah, and also jazz. I'm gonna say jazz, R&B, and gospel because it's like I'm gonna tell you something. For a while before I got Sirius XM, I had to stop listening to radio and I just put on a gospel station because of the frequency, the love frequency. First off. But also the musicianship. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's the funny joke about gospel and every other type of music. A bass player joins the band to be a bass player. Mm-hmm. A bass player plays in a gospel band to lead the entire group. Well, that and the if you happen to have an organ player, the organ player is the one leading the band. But if you don't, the bass player is leading the band. It's a whole other scenario.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So true.
I don't even know how to put it into words.
Yeah, I sometimes I'll listen to gospel just to hear the bass tone of the bass player.
Oh,
Just, you know what I'm saying? Just
yes.
the tone, that sound that bass player gets.
It is a different
And
tone.
yeah, man, I'm just like, oh my
You're
God.
going insane, man. And it's really wild. And they're so musical, they're so knowledgeable
Yeah.
about music all around. You know?
And also the vocal melodies and, you know, all that stuff. It's like, God damn, man.
They go to a whole different level.
Whole new level, man. That's why, you know, a lot of them Whitney Houston, all these people, they grew up in the church, blowing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The older I get now, the more I appreciate listening to people like Whitney Houston sing, even like Mariah Carey. These females that have these, males too, you know what I'm saying, but have these phenomenal voices. Like I was reading this interview, and the lead singer for the Strokes, he was talking about like one day he was out. Did it stop? No, that's okay. Well, anyway, he was talking about how one night he was out partying and he got depressed because he was listening to, I think it was Otis Redding or something like that, and he was just saying that he got sad because he realized he can never sound like them. And I listen to some of these people like Otis Redding, and I'm just like, what in the hell is coming out of that person?
Yes.
But
Whitney Houston, I'm like, what? How?
Yeah.
the thing about it is, man, and I've heard that same laments. I've heard that same sadness. I've heard that same story from a bunch of different reasons. Well, I'm not gonna sound, and the drummer's gonna be like, I'm not gonna sound just like John Bonham. Why the heck am I playing drums? Who the heck does sound like John Bonham? You know what I'm saying? You don't drive yourself insane trying to be exactly like. No, you're you. Be the best you can. Whatever you can bring to the table, because you got something completely different, man.
I was told, like, and this is a good way to look at things, like you're saying, like, there's thousands of Michael Jordans, you know, literally, just as good as him, but he's the one that made it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep, like you said, you got to keep on being what you do, and, you know, if you come to the top and it's your time, whatever the case may be, then so be it, but, you know, I know there's, you know, I've seen amazing musicians out there that you might not have made it, but they're still amazing musicians.
Isn't that the funniest thing, man? There's like, you know, you'll mention it, like, you know, a guitar player like Stevie Ray Vaughan. There are a bunch of other guitar players who are just as good as that. But they're mowing lawns. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about it. It's not just the music, unfortunately. It's not just the talent, unfortunately. It's not even really the exposure. Only about the exposure. It's about an element of everything that goes into it.
It's a combination.
That you have to put in place, man. Especially nowadays, it's kind of up to you. You do whatever you don't. It would, like anything in this world.
Exactly.
You do whatever you don't.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why I respect people. Like, that's why we were so happy to work with you, because you're very that needs to be done. Let's do it. That's it. I'll be there. No sob stories. We don't even. No sob stories. No. I know people telling us, no excuses. Just okay. Let's just get it done. You know what I'm saying?
It's
and
the
that's
Virgo in me.
and that's another reason why that Jordan and I we have to vet people, literally, because we done had some horror stories trying to come and meet with people that want to try to do something, and you come to find out that we don't even want to be in the same room.
Well, that's kind of the way it is. I mean, especially now, it's hard to get people in the same room. But when you can definitely find people who are willing to be in the room when you need them, when they're gonna. It's not just for us. I mean, it's for everyone who's in it, because we're not only recording, we're not only rehearsing, we're not only doing video, we're not only doing podcasts, we're doing it all. You're not going to leave my studio, if I have anything to say about it, without something to show. The internet. Like we did our little video the other day. People love that. You know, we still have to finish everything up, but you're going to have something to show for being here. You know, and not only that, I try to make it so all you really have to do is show up. Even if you forget the piece of gear you said you were going to bring, odds are I'm going to have something, either that or something we can replace it with, you know.
So let me ask, as you technically are our first artist and also partner on ABDUCTION9 Productions, you know, how was your experience working with Jordan, with ABDUCTION9 Productions? Can you talk about that?
The first word that comes to mind would have to be magical. I remember when I first came to the studio with you and we were working on the first song. And just the way that I just was like, here's my song, and how it kind of grew around it, and just the energy that was circulating as you were playing, as I was singing. It's really like traveling through a portal where you get to be a part of this God process of creation.
Wow.
And so for me, that's what music is supposed to be, and I think it's so important, especially talking about AI coming into the music and how that's going to impact things. People can feel when that energy is cultivated, and I think that's the thing that's going to be missing from a lot of the music.
You're absolutely
Soulless.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So it's extremely important for us to continue to create and continue to do things live and have live instruments and have real people singing real songs about real things, because we cannot lose our feeling. And so that's one of the main things that I have enjoyed, is tapping into my feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel when you're kind of pushed in the spotlight and we throw you on the stage at Juneteenth? You know,
Good question.
Hey, tell everybody your names.
The thing about me is that it's not that I don't have fear, but I'm gonna feel it and do the thing anyway. And so it gets to the point when it's time for you to shine, you have to put that away.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, as long as I just be myself and I'm not trying to be, I'm not Beyonce. I'm not Jill Scott. I'm just me.
You're you.
I'm just gonna be awkward because I am awkward, and people need to see that. And and so it's just like, oh,
this is our group therapy. Right?
Are you kidding? Awkward.
So I didn't really think about it when it was time. I felt all the nerves before we got up on stage, and as I was sitting up there waiting on my turn, I was like, oh my God, I hope my voice don't crack, or I hope people don't walk away. And then once you get up there, it's just like, this is it, don't matter no more, so you can't worry about it.
You just do it.
Just do it.
Yes.
You do what you were designed to do.
Yes.
You know, what you made to do.
Again, you do it or you don't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
And once you've done it, you're usually pretty glad that you did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was my thing about, I was calling Zozer beforehand. I'm like, I don't think we're quite ready for this yet. Not only, we don't have enough of this, don't have enough of that. Sometimes you gotta get out of your own way.
Yeah.
That's what my mom always tells me. You gotta get out of your own way. And just do it.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's why one of the many reasons, like, I remember, man, music make you happy, make you sad, you know what I'm saying? Picks you up. And because I guess what I was saying, like I was saying earlier, like, I tell the story all the time. Like I remember back in my early 20s, man, I ride around Richmond smoking a blunt and listening to Bob Marley, and I swear he was sitting like right next in the car with me, just talking to me like, yo, this is what's here, this is what's down, this is what it's about. You know, it really felt like that. And I used to think it was like the weed, which it was somewhat, but it was also just a part of my overall awakening as far as my being, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And to have such a soundtrack like that to, you know, to usher me in. Man, I'm telling you, man, I remember one time, it was like New Year's Eve, and I was listening to Bob Marley. I was just crying because of what he was saying, because, you know, just talking about like the pain that we go through, and just, but also the joy, you know what I mean? And that, you know, John Lennon, you know, recently I was listening to him, that song Imagine, you know, and just like, yo, how real is that song, man?
Oh man, the thing about John and the Beatles and Paul and everything, one thing I love about their group is you can take their music and just make something so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the songs they wrote, but it's how other musicians interpret all those songs.
Yeah,
That's
true.
them. Some of the most beautiful versions of those songs. What I think Jeff Beck plays Beatles very beautifully. Al Di Meola plays a couple of their songs amazingly, and so many other different artists. So
it just keeps on.
It just keeps
recreating,
going, and there'll be more later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
what else we got?
let's see.
Let me see. I chat GPT some questions. Hold on.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Isn't editing great?
Right?
Beautiful.
Oh, this is a good question. How do you write from your personal experience or imagination and or create the music? Like what is fueling you or channeling through you while you are writing?
Absolutely. Me or so?
I'm gonna
Go with me.
You write way more than I do.
I guess compose would be a better word for me. I'm definitely I can't write lyrics for nothing. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, it's just I get these moments where I'm just. That's why I just have to pick one thing up after the other. I get these moments where I just need to create, and it comes from, golly, I'll hear something on the radio, hear something on YouTube more than likely, and it'll just be a tiny little speck or something, and I just have to build on top of that idea. That's mostly what it is for me, and I have to be really quick though, because I lose it so quickly, and I have to, I'll have to do a little part, then I'll have to switch instruments, do a little part, and I have to switch and I have to keep building on top of that. That's why I work better with other people, because I see. It gives me a reason to stay in front.
It just cut off, does that matter?
Gosh, I hope not. Come on, man. Oh, please. I don't know why he does that. Still good. Okay. So anyways, if I don't, as I was saying, if I don't have everything kind of right in front of me ready to go, I don't know, I end up losing it. But then when I'm working with other people, I feel like it's just kind of their ideas and my ideas just keep everything flowing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm always excited to play with a band. We set up in the band, we keep going. We're able to get songs from start to finish and everything, like get everything the way it needs to be, get everything organized. But yeah, I mean, if I don't, I love recording, being able to just go in, hit record, and play by myself. I love being able to do that. But I really get things done when I'm with a group.
Your style, because we both work with him. Your style is, and you just nailed it, because your style is very good because you are able to hear what the musician wants, hear what you want, and able to execute it, and put your input in, to make it go forward. And like I was telling earlier, we were talking about recording. I was like, George is the type of individual, and that's why it's so important for you all the people to hit him up so you can make your own music, great music. But or hit Abduction9 Productions up. Is that you can take a small idea, just like you were saying, and create something so big on top of that you wouldn't even imagine, and all with live instruments. That's the key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the key, because a lot of people, you can do that with sample machines, but no, when you got that live energy, that live frequency coming along with your music, I'm telling you, it's still right now in music. They're still selling out millions of shows, big shows with live music. Live music ain't going nowhere. And it's as authentic as it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And for you to be able to create that with somebody that can comprehend and bring the best out, that's priceless, man.
Man, it just comes from, again, it comes from listening to a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different artists, a whole bunch of different genres, a whole bunch of different interviews.
True.
Yeah, and I always had something when it came to music. My mom grew up playing the piano, like so many moms did. She was the dance teacher, ballet dancer, tap dancer, everything. She taught dance. She played piano, and I remember when I was a little kid. My mom would sit and play. I don't know what songs there were, but she played chopsticks or whatever, But then play all this other stuff. And I realized I sat down at the piano when I was like 6. My mom didn't even know, And I would just sound out the melodies of all the songs. Well, I figured, anybody could do that.
It came easy to you.
Yeah, right. No, and that was the beginning of developing the ear to listen for every individual different part, and then being able to sound it out, and man, I wanted a guitar. So I remember I went to Wisconsin, and I finally met my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family was always there, but not so much my dad's side. There was 2 uncles, Uncle Mike and Uncle Keith, and they played the guitar. And my dad, he was the one that wasn't the musician in the group, But I finally met my uncles, and they were playing guitar around, the campfire in the North Woods in Wisconsin. I'm like, oh my God, that's it.
Yeah.
I want to be able, and I didn't really want to, play in a band, whatever. I just wanted to play with them. I wanted to join that so bad. And I was like, I begged my dad for a guitar from the age of like 8 till finally 11 when he was like, all right, well, he put one on layaway when I was like 9. I think maybe I was 11 when he finally picked it up.
You're going back in time.
Oh God, when I was a kid, no, we didn't have that extra money. We got to save up for it now. It's all good, but he did it, and to this day, I'm so thankful to him because it for one thing, it opened me up to the world. It helped me. I was a quiet kid. I wasn't making no friends. I didn't have any. I didn't have a way to connect with other people. Growing up on a farm mostly growing up with my granddad on his farm, riding around the tractors and combines and things. I thought that's what life was. I thought I was going to get old and be a farmer. No, I sort of got my life was like stair steps. We moved to a little bit more busy place, and a little busier place, a little bit. Finally, we get to Atlanta. From rural Iowa to Atlanta.
Woo.
Yeah, can you?
Big difference.
And all in 20 years. Oh gosh. So, yeah, that's what that is. But music really introduced me to and continues to introduce me to everyone.
To kind of piggyback off your questions, like even when we write, because we write songs together too. Actually, the song that we wrote, Sunshine, we wrote together. Yeah. Behind the ice wall. The one we'll be doing. We started off right. I came with a bass line, you know what I'm saying? And then the thing is, with this production is that, we have very talented musicians and friends that are the extended part of ABDUCTION9 production. So we laid a foundation. And then the key, when Malcolm comes in on keys, it makes songs sound completely different. And Felix comes in on saxophone. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And,
takes you to a whole other dimension.
It's like, so music was something, and I remember just having the keys in my head from like some old 80s keys that, you know what I'm saying, that I just really liked, and like the chord progression of that, you know what I'm saying? And eventually that disappeared. And on top of that came what Malcolm brought in and what, Jordan might have done or Felix. So it's so beautiful to see things just kind of grow like a seed, plant the seed. And then you got this beautiful flower or fruit in front of you, you know what I'm saying? So it's always, that's really what happened with Black Sheep too. Black Sheep kind of started off as, just one riff, but then you came, and we add everything onto it. And we just build on top of it. And next thing you know, it's this whole production.
Absolutely.
That we didn't see coming originally.
It just kept going with it. That was a really cool experience.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing. It's like we were saying earlier. It's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. No. Now when we do it next time, whatever we do is just
We
Do the same exact way.
The same exact way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't change it.
Yeah. By the way, your friend on the drums was named Greg, right?
Greg, yeah.
He kills
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we take it to Chris Griffin and freaking. As soon as you put it in, you're like, oh my God, we did this.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just him mastering it. Make that a lot of, being able to record with something like that,
But you know what? And I'll never not notice this whenever I listen to that song. I forgot to put one of the tracks on stereo, and it doesn't quite do the thing I intended
what you wanted to
do.
That happens.
Oh man! But now that it's mastered, I can't change it. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, it gives it a weird kind of thing.
If it happened, it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, you might, like, growing back in the day, we used to record from tape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We used to record from tape. I think around the time, I remember the Deftones at the time, like the first album, they were talking about how they recorded on analog tape, and then they put on Pro Tools to edit. You know what I'm saying? So that was like what a lot of people were doing then. But now we just did everything straight through your
computer.
and it sound just as good as, I can't hear a difference, not a huge difference from listening to that type of music with them from the
Well, there's so many different avenues. There's so many different ways you can go about it these days, man. I can bust things down to a console and mix it on there. I can keep everything in the box, mix it on there. It's whatever you want to do. So how far are you willing to take it? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring a couple good things from both worlds into my studio, and I have no shortage of people to draw inspiration from anymore.
Yeah.
That's a really great thing about this, about ABDUCTION9 Productions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the technology, it's always gonna, it's always gonna make things easier, and it's good for music to be able to do these things easier and not take it, man.